Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and BORSOG Trader. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently down 2.38% to 20,285. Ethereum down 4.3% to 1151. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you for tuning in. I very much appreciate us sharing this time together. What we've just done together, we do every day. We've done a quick run through on the crypto market. Over time, you'll get a really good feeling as to what sectors are moving. And even though it looks quite red overall in the market, there's always pockets of green. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the Masterclass, the tax software I use, and you can always directly message me on Twitter at any time. As promised, I released another BORSOG Trader video. This one is Trade 6, how I made 18% profit in 2 hours on storage when Bitcoin was retracing. To BORSOG may sound easy, but you actually require the knowledge of the masterclass. The first thing we do is to mark up our charts with the CTKS method, then look outside the crypto market collecting probabilities, checking the stock markets, checking what the charts are telling us. Then we go back into the crypto market, finding the market's focus. On even the reddest of days, you will see price momentum inside crypto. And this is something a lot of people don't realize. They think when the market is red, for example, when the market is red like this, they believe, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. There's no opportunities in crypto today. It's simply not the case. There are a lot of ways to buy and sell, and they are as individual as you are and your particular financial goals. But before you buy and sell, we must master emotional control. If you look at a red market and you're beaten by your mind into saying, there's no opportunity here, I'm just not going to look, you won't see the opportunities because your mind has already closed down to them. In the masterclass, I talk about us as crypto technical analysts. We're like firefighters. We're all geared up. We have our protective clothing on. But if you have a phobia about fire, firefighting is not the best thing to get into. The way you actually fight the fire is internally first. Understanding the professionals are not emotional, and mastery of emotional control is critically important. Without this, you simply won't see opportunities, not just in the market, but in life. One of the biggest things that closes people down in their perception of actually identifying opportunities is blame. Rule 339, blame destroys learning and happiness. Everything in life is just a learning experience, but when we personalize some kind of thing that goes against us through blame, and that's the only way we can personalize anything, we'll get angry, we'll look for an enemy to blame, and that shifts the focus outside of ourselves. If we destroy learning, actually we end up destroying happiness. It's really critical not to blame. But how do you not blame? Something didn't go your way. What do? You actually look at it as though life has uncovered a success secret for you. It's kind of like when you go to uni, you're not going to get 100% on every assignment or every exam. In all likelihood, you're going to make mistakes. Most people do. That is fine. The mistakes are to learn. But when it comes to financial markets, people make mistakes by witnessing losses and then they personalize it. It's not about that. It's all about learning. Remember, the market doesn't know you exist. It doesn't know your name. It doesn't know your background. It doesn't know why you're using the money inside it. But it will reward you for knowledge and it will punish blame. When we get sell-offs, we know that Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. So what did we see yesterday? Yesterday, price was trying to cradle to get above here. And what happened? It didn't. It came down. There's a lower support level here. It looks like price is starting to bottom out. But of course, you must make your three-dimensional decision. What if it doesn't? What if it keeps on going down? Now the answer to that, look at this blue line here. I'll just increase its thickness so you can see what is actually happening. This is Bitcoin's price going up and down, up and down. And this is underneath the candlestick chart is actually the Nasdaq 100. Look at it, this directional association. As the Nasdaq sold off, what did Bitcoin do? It sold off. As the Nasdaq went up, what did Bitcoin do? It went up. These particular relationships come in and out of phase all the time. You can't just say, oh, it's a rule that this will occur. There are always footnotes on every rule, so just be aware of that. But we're seeing a very strong correlation between the main markets and Bitcoin at the moment. And we typically see those when we have sell downs. So what are we actually seeing here? For example, with our three-dimensional thinking, we look at what could happen if price goes up, goes flat, or goes down. And as professionals, we have an answer for all of those three cases. If you just hold on and say, oh, I just hope it will come up, and if it does, I'll just hold on, and if it goes down, I'll hope it will come back up. You need to have concrete strategies on how you play the market. It is really important. All professionals have that. So what will happen if the Nasdaq futures find a particular level of support and bounce up? They still have resistance up here, this red line. That's what we were trying to get above, and they've got higher levels of resistance as well. What about if price goes just flat and just consolidates? Okay, price can do that. What if it actually passes through this particular support line and goes down? Price can also do that. It's important to have your three-dimensional thinking at all times and know what you're going to do with your portfolio or any specific trade you're in if any of those three things happen, and one of them is going to happen. In the last trading session, we saw that fear made a pole vault up, and potentially fear might be increasing inside the market. If we were to draw a line down here, a resistance line, you can see fear is starting to get over that. It's very early days. It doesn't mean that it's going to spike up, but the nature of the VIX is it's very, very volatile by nature. It can do just incredible things. It can spike up and then collapse down the next day. That's kind of what the VIX does. Now, what we actually see here, we're very, very close to this level of support, which will be playing in at around 11,580. That means also that Bitcoin is close to a level of support hidden inside the market structure. And this is why we need to mark up our charts. If we don't mark up our charts, we simply don't know what's going on. You can look at price like this without any markups whatsoever, but you'll be missing a deeper context. We can see that bond prices are starting to come up, getting over resistance. That means that the yields are starting to come down, breaking down below support here. And we know that this relationship between bond prices and yields is an inverse one. We can also see that gold has been breaking down and the dollar has broken through its resistance and is going up. It's just being basically slowed down by this level of resistance just around there. And we can see that oil prices are on their way up. When we look at the put-call ratio, we can see, for example, that the sentiment inside the market is starting to turn around because prices have come down. People are getting more negative. People are very influenced by the daily action inside markets. And when we look at junk bonds, we can see junk bonds has lost a level of support and is making its way down. J&K or junk bonds can be a really, really good way of looking at the market. And we can see that as we lost that junk bond support, the market's also sold down. It doesn't mean that J&K caused the market to sell down. It's just one more piece of evidence that we collect as price detectives. Please let me know in the comments, what do you think will happen to the markets in the next 24 hours? Do you think they'll bounce up or bounce down or just go flat? I'm really interested in your comments. It's good to discuss these things. Bitcoin is currently trading at 20,349. We can see through the max pain levels. Max pain prices are currently dropping. We can see max pain has dropped to 20,500 for the next couple of days. So this is really good to keep in your mind. And Masterclass students, you get my live chart in TG34. So what do we see with the longs and the shorts? The longs are losing confidence. They're coming out of the market, and the shorts are pretty much behind them. They're not that confident either. Let's have a look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Today, it's currently 10. I've drawn this line in here to show you what 10 looks like. It is really, really extreme fear. I like to play this little clip to actually just help you to understand what happens when extreme fear hits a market. This is extreme fear. This is what happens when extreme fear hits the market. Everybody bolts. Now, hang on. How did this price come up? There's no one there. Who's doing that? Where is that price coming from? See, at points of extreme fear, it's generally the best time to be in the market, but it takes great emotional mastery to do that, because a lot of people are looking around feeling pretty sad and pretty upset with things because price is not supposed to do this. It's not supposed to move in a wave. It's supposed to go up and up and up forever. Or if it does a wave, it can just do a wave down and then just keep on going up. But we know that the markets don't work that way. Price is always moving in a wave, and we just have to be prepared for price to come down. Crypto is the most volatile market on the entire planet. That basically means that crypto over-exaggerates up and down movements unlike anything anybody has ever seen before. And when crypto comes down, it's like this. It literally comes down. And when it goes up, it literally comes back up as well. So notice that there's nobody on the dance floor as the best song is playing. I want to keep you on the dance floor, keep you borsogging, keep you in that professional mindset. But of course, you need your knowledge and skills. Don't just borsog without knowledge. You really need to know what you're doing, and you must make your three-dimensional decisions all the time. What do I do if it is actually still coming down? Do you exit? What do you do? This is really critical for you to have a handle on. If you say, I hope, you'll make losses. It's not about hoping, it's having a strategy. And that takes many years to actually develop. But this is why I'm consistently saying, have your strategy. Know what you will do if price goes down, goes up, or goes sideways. It's really, really important to know. And just always remember that when the dance floor is empty, the best songs are playing. Why? Because they want people on the dance floor. Now, what do we see here? The longs are leaving the dance floor and the shorts are leaving the dance floor. When looking at the past 24 hours of liquidations, there's been about 158.08 million across 65,221 positions. As you can see, there's still a lot of people in the crypto market. When we look at the liquidations across the past 24 hours, around 69% of total liquidations have been long. What about the past 12 hours? About 79% long. What about the past 4 hours? About 81% long. What about the past hour? 96% long. You can see an increasing amount of long liquidations. When looking over the past liquidations, we can see more longs than shorts for today, for yesterday, and the day before. And then 4 days ago, it was more shorts than longs. You'll see that over time, the shorts and longs tend to balance each other out. There's always shorts getting liquidated and longs getting liquidated. If you don't know what you're doing when it comes to longing and shorting, you will definitely lose money. It's much, much better to just buy at spot, because then you can wait things out if you wish. Some very interesting information when we compare Bitcoin to inflation expectations. And Masterclass students, you'll get my live chart in TM4. M1 and M2 have come through, and both M1 and M2 money stock have actually increased, and the Fed balance sheet has increased as well. But the expectations on the 10-year and 5-year break-even inflation rates have gone down. These tend to move with the market. You can see when the market is doing well, inflation rates tend to kick up, and when the market comes down, inflation rates tend to come down as well. But I just wanted to let you know that M1 and M2 have come through. Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. If we have a look at Bitcoin, we can see that Bitcoin has been selling down. What's that doing to Ethereum? That gravity is pulling Ethereum down. What about Binance Coin? Again, pulling down. What about XRP? It's pulling XRP down. We always say, we've got a little bit of a saying inside our beloved family. It's like, what happened to my beloved alt? The answer, please let me know in the comments. Let's have a look at ADA. Getting pulled down by Bitcoin's gravity. Solana getting also pulled down. Doge getting seriously pulled down. DOT also getting pulled down. This is what we mean by no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. But they can actually decorrelate just for a little while. And what you will find, and we talk about this extensively inside the masterclass, is all about alts underperforming and outperforming Bitcoin's gravity and the snapback effects that we get. Let's have a look at the top gainers and top losers in the crypto market. Terra Classic USD, which is supposed to be a stable coin, is acting anything but stable. BTT, I wouldn't touch USTC with a 1,000-foot pole or any of the associated Terra projects at this particular time. I think they're far too risky. But of course, you can do whatever you like. Go for it if you want to get into those. But personally, I wouldn't touch them. BTT up 10.77% over the past 24 hours. 1 inch about 9.8% up. Kava 3.6% up. Synthetics 2.95% up, and then we're just seeing stable coins. Let's go from the other dimension. The other dimension. Let's have a look at the greatest losers for the past 24 hours. Stepan GMT down 11.4%, SHIB down 9.7%, Uniswap down about 9.2%, Mana down around 9%, and Sandbox the same, and Doge pretty much the same. Near about 8.7% down, around the same as Aave and Solana. Yesterday, I asked our beloved KS family, what helps people to move from the red path into the green path? The difference is the red path is all about anger and blame and bitterness and conflict, self-sabotage. This will absolutely destroy your portfolio inside the market, inside any market. And it's a little bit worse than that. Going down the angry, destructive path will also cause enormous suffering inside a person's life. So getting away from this red path, getting into the green path, where we have self-worth, strength, and happiness is the ultimate goal. But it's really, really hard to do. When people don't get what they want, they get angry naturally. When they have problems, they get angry. When they have setbacks, they get angry. When they're disappointed, they get angry. But it doesn't have to be this way. It is not profitable to be angry. Jay had a really beautiful comment. Thank you, Jay. Jay said, this is my first time commenting on the YouTube channel. Wow, woohoo, great to hear from you. So the question was, what techniques have helped you to move from red into green, from sadness and bitterness and anger into happiness and learning and fulfillment? First of all, knowing you can have a choice and that there are different paths to choose is really important. Reading books about psychology and mindset to gain more perspectives, doing the masterclass and especially the real wealth section will also help. At times you might feel that your negative mindset and behavior is justified. What is the underlying belief that makes you feel and act that way? Perhaps look at a role model who's faced similar setbacks. How do they see the world? What are their beliefs about themselves and the world, and how do they act when they get setbacks? Mindfulness or meditation can help you recognize when you're on the red path, and it's all about observing instead of judging. Even observing your judging in a kind way with kind eyes. Being kind to yourself is incredibly important. You can learn to be kind to yourself when you find yourself on the red path and choose a different path. It feels it's helpful to become aware of how your emotions affect your body as well. Changing yourself and going from the red to green can be very hard. Starting small, just like when you're learning to trade, practice moving from the red to the green becomes easier and in easier situations first with smaller setbacks. I really love what Jay said here. Practice to act and think differently when you encounter small problems in your day-to-day life. You can also reflect daily using a journal to see what progress you've made and stack those probability of your changing mindset. Jay also mentions it's good to get a coach or someone who's independent of the situation to get feedback from. Just think about it this way. If all your friends are walking the negative red path on leading towards destruction, asking them to get off the red path can be quite difficult to do, because they'll say, well, why do you want to get off this path? We're all hanging out and having fun here. And thank you to Oscar. You can't simultaneously be thankful and angry. If you walk the red path, that's the path of anger. If you walk the green path, that's the path of thankfulness. But why should you be thankful if things don't go your way? Isn't that a little bit crazy? No, absolutely not. You be thankful for the lesson that you've learned because you've uncovered a success secret, or you're just about to. Dinesh said something really good. Accepting people, places, and situations as they are is very thought-provoking and helps Dinesh come back to the present moment and move forward. It's a holistic principle that he has found in moving from red to green. Really, really good. And Flamingo said, unconditional acceptance. Wow, that is not always easy to do. When I was lecturing first and second year statistics, I found many of the students took an error as a personal lack of judgment on their count. It's not, and never was. And I always said to those students, you just need to be kind to yourself and understand that there's just something that you're not seeing at the moment. When you see it, everything will fix itself. So be positive with your learning. Seek to learn, don't seek to blame. And they did really well with that kind of mindset. Let's have a look at some other cryptos. Tron, we can see Tron still holding its support, really quite strong at the moment. And SHIB actually coming down with Bitcoin's gravity. What about AVAX coming down with Bitcoin's gravity as well, as is Matic, Uni coming down, Litecoin coming down, Chainlink coming down, FTT coming down. Masterclass students, be very aware of the arc that is forming inside the crypto market. Please remember Rule 5, you can always buy lower. This is a really important thing. When we BORSOG, we don't just take the first red thing that we see. We've got to actually look more deeply into the market structure. And that's what the masterclass allows you to do. It allows you to understand crypto market structure. But if you jump around the masterclass, you won't see it because masterclass materials are built up. One lesson, the next lesson relies on you understanding the previous lesson all the way through the masterclass. This is really, really important to understand. Always remember too that when you encounter a problem, the rain falls on the just and the unjust alike. Rain is falling, that's just life. Life is just one big school. We can choose to get angry at the lesson that we're given and say, I hate this lesson, I don't like this lesson, I don't want this lesson. You'll just get a harder lesson next time. And if you ignore that, a harder lesson the next time. And if you ignore that, a harder lesson the next time. And what do I mean by ignore? If people blame, and this is very natural, you can see any child doing it. Children are actually built with blame, built in When they say, for example, I didn't do that, you know they did. But the concept is kids just have this blaming mentality. And as we grow older and more mature, we leave this behind and we look for the lesson. Looking for the lesson is the key. Life is not against us, it's for us. You want to keep the costs of these lessons really, really low, because if it gets really, really high, it can be devastating. It's also important to remember that to identify opportunities, you must have a positive mental outlook on the market. Even though the market can be doing all kinds of things, you just look from a probabilistic perspective. Remember, a negative mind will never give you a positive life. If you're trapped on the red side, it's really, really difficult to live a life of meaning. But it's easy to change to the green side. You just basically say to yourself, I'm looking for the secret success lesson. If you're doing that, you're going to win. And you're going to lead a really happy life as well. That is the secret of happiness. A lot of people ask, what is the secret of happiness? Look at life as a learning lesson. That is the secret of happiness. Let's have a look at Stellar. Stellar is selling down with Bitcoin's gravity. We can see a degree of weakness. Why did we see weakness up here? Because Stellar took off. It couldn't actually support that gain. It wasn't strong enough. And this is why we always need to see price getting stabilized on the way up. If we have very big sell downs like this, of course they're going to come back up because sharp angles reverse, because this is unsustainable. It also goes in the opposite direction. And Masterclass students know this because we talk about it all the time. Let's have a look at NIA. Sharp angle up. What do sharp angles do? They reflect. And that's what NIA has done. This can be a trap for just people just getting into the markets. They see, oh, it's going up and up and up. I'm on it. It's going all the way up here. And then suddenly it crunches down and they sell. And they can typically sell just as price is about to reverse. And this is why when you BORSOG, always know you can always buy lower. It's very, very important to know that particular trick. And also only use coffee money. You're BORSOGing because you want to get into the natural flow and synchronicity of the market. You don't want to get out of phase. Buying at the top, selling at the bottom. You don't want to do that. You want to get in phase. So that's why BORSOGing knowledge is so important. And I do cover this in the masterclass, and I brought out trades on the BORSOG Trader channel as well. On the BORSOG Trader channel, which is just recently started, I show my actual trades and how you can make money on pretty much any market dynamic and any crypto. And there are already a few that I've placed in there for your browsing and perusal, and many, many more to come. I hope it helps. It's important to understand, without correct psychology, without Rule 570 in positive effect, you won't see the opportunities and you'll mistime market signals. Psychology sets profitability. That is positive psychology, an opportunity mindset, one where you have emotional mastery. That will set your profitability. I found that people who have a negative psychology don't do very well inside financial markets. That's because they're looking for everything to fall to pieces, not actually recognizing that you can go in and out of different things, and you can do really well, but you have to have a positive outlook. This is exactly why the real wealth section comes before the buying and selling or trigger section in the masterclass. When you master emotional control, you'll look at the markets in a completely different way, not through the eyes of fear, but through the eyes of opportunity. It's a really, really liberating and beautiful thing to look at the markets in that way. Returning to these cryptos, we can see Stellar was weak because it had such a push up, and now following Bitcoin's gravity. The same thing happened with NIA. And we can see Cosmos, basically the same thing, but Atom is acting with more strength than especially NIA at the moment. Algo is selling down after this big push up. And what do we see with Bitcoin Cash? Bitcoin Cash was looking really, really weak. and it's continuing to look incredibly weak. Not the best. Poor old Bitcoin Cash not doing too well at the moment. But what you find in the crypto market is what was weak becomes strong, and what was strong can become weak. So keep your eyes open. Let's have a look at Ethereum Classic. Stronger than Bitcoin's gravity, but also following the directional bias. VET just selling down, following Bitcoin's gravity. Decentraland, you look at the big surge up, we're getting a surge down. And this is very much like Stellar and very much like NEAR. So we expect these kind of behaviors to occur. This is why it's so incredibly important to understand exponential price action, and you can understand that through the CTKS method. Hopefully, when you look at a market like this, you'll see that there is opportunity everywhere. In fact, it doesn't look like that, but you become a skilled tracker and actually find what's going on deep inside the crypto engine. There are always opportunities, and having an opportunity mindset, walking that green path, is the way to go. I hope you found the content useful. I was thinking something we could discuss today is the capability to learn lessons that are really difficult, because we do get some really tough lessons in life. And how have you found you've personally changed after going through some tough lesson? Have you become better? It's really good to discuss these things, and I believe it could help many people. Please consider sharing and liking this video, and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for assisting Masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use and the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please use the links in the description to seek out an ambassador and get 80% off. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.